So then you make that part of your move as you go back, from stay at home on to work, and RTOs and duplexing, is that the main two focuses?
Now, actually, private lending is the main thing now. So yes, and I'm actually selling all my duplexes as we go along. So I'm gradually steering away from that. Income properties, so multifamily as well right now, some RTO still ongoing. So at this point, it's a mix of different things, which really depends on the stage of my investment journey. Because in the very beginning, I was looking at cash flow. Because like I said, we didn't save much. I want to make sure the concept worked. I started to invest in multifamily early on. However, multifamily, even today, when I started to acquire more as well, it takes a long time to stabilize in a lot of cases. Yeah. So for people coming in, for me I want to prove that real estate investing works. Proof of concept. If you're getting into income properties or especially, for example, pre-construction condos, don't get into that because you really have to wait and you don't have a lot of control. So to proof of concept, I wanted to start with something that could bring me cash flow first. Yeah, that's why I started rent to own, so lease options first.
Yeah. And so, lots of questions. So RTOs, are you doing tenant first or property first?
I always do tenant first. And I'll tell you a story because now we've mentioned RTO and the market today. There's actually quite a few flippers or wholesaler reaching out to me saying now the property doesn't make sense to flip because construction cost is really high. I know that because we're also building our home now. So some wholesaler or flippers reach out to say, hey, can you take on this property? Do you have a tenant that you can put in the property, make it cash flow, so solve the problem if they cannot sell the properties today? I can tell you that's why I do tenant first, because it's not easy to do that. I'm not saying it's impossible. Because tenants usually are looking for their home. So they don't just want any property you put them in. They want to be like us, close to a good school where their kids can go to activities or close to their work or close to their family and friends. So I'm not saying if it's impossible. In my experience, it's harder that way.
Well, but to your point, I mean, the number one key to success in RTOs is to complete the contract, right? You really want a win-win. You want the tenants to be in a position and want to purchase the home. Best way to do that is to have tenant first and have them be living in the home that they actually like, in the neighborhood, around the schools, like you said, right? It's kind of it just makes a ton of sense. Otherwise, you're chasing the deal first, and you're trying to find a tenant who might or may not, to what degree do they like that home? Might be a lot, might be just enough to get the deal done, but it doesn't really set you up for that success at the end of the term, right?
Yeah, especially now, well, about a few months ago, because in Ontario, you know how crazy the property price is. So compared to the income of the tenant buyer. So I start to see people qualify with their parents, for example, if it's 3 generations under one roof, or their siblings who also stay in the basement, or a similar situation, maybe they're friends. But I don't usually take on tenant buyers who split the expenses with their friends, because at the end of the term, you don't know where everybody will be, that kind of thing. The point is, I can see that it's getting harder to qualify because, yes, the rules are more strict today. And like you said, you want them to succeed. So if there are more factors, then you really have to juggle different elements to make sure they can still succeed. And I currently actually have quite a few this month to close. I also realize lenders are more strict as well. And luckily, we do have a few things we can do to help them qualify.